Welcome back to the Tennessee Frugal Craftsman. It's been a couple of weeks since I posted, and that's because I've been working fairly consistently at my friend's property, and I just wanted to show you one of the projects that I have now pretty much completed. So I'll swing around here and describe what we have. Sorry, the sun is a little bit in the main screen here. Just come around here. This is a garden area that I had started a while ago. Guess it's been about, oh goodness, 3 or 4 weeks ago, because I've been doing other projects, but it is pretty much complete now. This is set, with posts around the perimeter and then 2x6 rails on the top. This is should be high enough at 6 feet to keep deer out. That's the plan. I did some searching online and found that the average height is between 6 and 7 feet for keeping deer out. So I'll come up a little closer here and give you an update of how to do this, or kind of a how-to. And so what I did is I went to Tractor Supply and got some 2x4 inch mesh. That comes in about 100-foot rolls. And so I'll just come up here so you can see it. And so they are 2 inches wide, 4 inches high. Then what I did is I got some pressure treated, basically agricultural posts. That's what these are. And there was 21 of them here. And the homeowners wanted one man door, which is 36 inches, and they wanted two 48-inch doors, so a 48-inch or a 8-foot opening for the for like a tractor or something to come in. Now, when you're doing something like this, it's quite important that, I'll just back up here a bit, it's quite important that you support from the bottom and angle up on your diagonal to hold the gate from sagging. And I'll show you how I built those in a minute. Just walk over here and open up. And notice on the inside, what I did is I took plates, gusset plates, metal gusset plates, and I put them on all the joints, nailed them all up secure, so hopefully that will long term keep that from sagging. Just come in here. Now on the base, on this one, I actually put an 18-inch cane bolt in it, and I poured a little pad here. It's about 1 foot by 16 inches. Poured about 6 inches deep, and I'll come in a little closer here. What I did is right there, you can see at the very bottom, I took a electrical conduit, which is a little bit larger than this 1/2-inch cane bolt, and that will just slide right down in, locks up there, or locks on the other side, so that will open, so the gate will open out. Now they still have a little bit of grading here to do, but for all intents and purposes, this is the one that's going to be firm in place, so it doesn't move around. And then the other one, the other gate here, that one closes. And just pin it together, and there's one at the bottom as well. I used, as you can see, these types of hinges. I thought that those would actually work a lot better than just a regular 1.5 inch by 1.5 inches. It actually gives me a little bit more bearing. The overall gates are not that heavy, so a couple hinges should do them. Those are pretty strong hinges. Now over here on the other gate, this is just a simple man gate. This one here, I've still got to put the stopper on it, but it locks up there, and as you can see, it's fairly straightforward. Step back from it. That one, because it was only 3 feet, I just put the one diagonal up. I didn't put one upright in the middle. Now as far as again doing those, as you can see, step back and show you, I put the gussets on each corner, and so those will hopefully hold those longer term. I realize that most pressure treated wood is going to twist over time, but putting those types of gussets on should hold them pretty firmly. Now on the inside, I've still got to go around. I'm nailing up, stapling the very top to the 2x6 around the perimeter. That's keeping everything fairly tight. There's nothing on the bottom as of now. We pulled that fence as tight as we could get it, and what I did is when I came up to an area where I was going from post to post, you pretty much have to do post at a time. What I would do is I would attach to one post, then come over and roll out to about here, and then use a pinch bar. What I did is I slid a thin piece of 2x4 down in, I had ripped a half-inch strip off of a 2x4 and just threaded it down in between the pieces, and then you can put your pry bar in and pull, and it doesn't hurt the fence. I mean, if you use common sense and don't pull too tight, you should be able to go right down a post and staple. I stapled every 4 inches, as you can see. Those are 3/4 of an inch long. They're electro-galvanized staples meant for this type of mesh. And I just went right down the post, tighten it up about every 5-6 inches, pulling with a pry bar on it, and stapled it, and it actually came fairly tight. And so overall, this garden area is probably in the vicinity of about 30 feet across this way, or about 25 feet, sorry, about that way, about 30 feet across the back, and then almost probably 50 feet down across the back side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably about 40 feet. And then they have the jog in it. What they're going to do is actually put some fruit trees along here on this back slope area. And then on this far side, down here, they're going to put raised beds and whatnot. And so still have to do the raised beds, but this is now hopefully deer proof. And like I said, my gates are 6 feet tall. The slope there, it was quite a steep slope down the hill, but 6 feet should deter a deer that is not highly motivated. But if you're ever doing one, this one here probably took to build somewhere in the vicinity of 5 days of labor, 4 to 5 days labor. Took about a day and a half to set all the posts, and then to cement them in. What I did is I dug down, these are 8-foot posts. I dug down about 24 inches, put down a bed of crushed rock or gravel would work, set my posts on them, and then concreted them in with 2 bags of Quickcrete, and then just the last 4 inches we put the topsoil over. So the grass should go along here fairly well. Now they may eventually, they've talked about maybe digging down, putting a 1/4 inch mesh down along the bottom, maybe another 2x4 or 2x6 along the base here, and then digging on down in the ground to keep out any smaller critters. But for the most part, a rabbit could probably get through that 2x4 mesh if they were really motivated, especially smaller rabbits. And the homeowner said, they're not overly concerned about the rabbits. They'll plant some extra vegetables and lettuce for them. But yeah, this is pretty much now complete, and so I wanted to give you an update of what I had been doing. I know it's been a while. I apologize for that. I will do another video coming up on the chicken run and the outbuilding that I did. I'm going to do those in 2 separate videos to show you how to do those and some of the kind of the details of constructing those. But I thought I would start with this one because I am now finished with it, and hopefully this will give you some insights on how to keep deer out of your garden at a fairly inexpensive rate. Now this is obviously long term. The cost of the post and the mesh together, now there was enough mesh also to do the chicken run over there as well, but that was about $1,000 for the posts and the fencing. And then for all of the 2x6 and the concrete and the hardware and whatnot, you're probably looking at another $500 plus all your labor. So if you're putting your own labor in, you know, for $1,500 or so, you should be able to do a somewhere probably between $1,500 and $2,000. You should be able to do a nice size gardened area that's all fenced in to keep the deer out. And so I'll step back here and give you a little better view of it. I know the sun is pretty bright right here. I'm looking right into the sun, so I'll come back and give you a view the other way. But overall, it's not that difficult to do. If you have a little bit of carpentry skills, you should be able to do that. So come around here now, the sun isn't on it. As much as possible, I tried to keep all of the 2x6 straight. Every now and again you had to, you know, adjust it to the slope, but try to keep everything running straight to make it look good. And yeah, you should be able to, for a fairly cost-effective way of keeping the deer out. Now, one other thing I will point out before I sign off is when you are stringing this fence, because the ground is uneven, you do as much as possible of keeping the fencing running straight. But on the corners, when you come around, when the angles are changing, this is actually coming down a slope, and then it goes across level here. Well, you can see what I had to do. I'll come up close. You actually have to cut the fencing and take out a section to get it running straight again. Now you may want to just cut, you know, the length this way, put it on this post, and then go the other way. But what I found is, you can see at the very bottom, I kept the bottom tight. So that actually, the bottom two runs are actually still attached. So it's going around the corner here, and everything else, when I was straightening the line up, trying to keep the lines as straight as possible going up and down the post, that's where I started taking the pieces out. And so you do have to do that every now and again, especially on these slopes. But if you're on a fairly flat piece of land, you shouldn't even have to do that. You should be able to just bend them around the corner and keep going. But I had to do all of my corners that way because this is a sloping piece of property. But it still turned out fairly nicely, and the homeowners are very pleased with it. And so until next time, when I bring you up to date on doing the chicken run, how to do a chicken run, and also how to, you know, some of the ins and outs of doing the small building, the outbuilding that we did. Until then, I hope that you have a great day, and I will talk to you next time. So we'll see you later from the Tennessee Frugal Craftsman.